Turn one soul ring.
Yeah, you never know what I'm going to keep in the episode, so
Watch what you say.
if you say it, you better mean it.
You don't have to watch what you say, though, right?
No, I can cut out everything.
You have all the power.
I have the power.
Are you the boss?
I'm in charge.
Yeah.
No,
You're the prize?
I'm the prize.
Yeah. All right, well, we're back with another episode of Turn One Soul Ring. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Eric.
And we have Ainsley joining us once again.
Hi, and I'm Ainsley.
Hi there.
That's
Hi.
kind of Eric's thing.
I know that's Eric's. But
I'm kidding.
that's why I said it.
And today on the show, we're going to be dexplaining Ainsley's Sram deck that we talked so much about back a couple episodes ago. And we're also going to be explaining what Dual Commander is all about because Ainsley and I pretty much just play Commander against each other. I mean, I play in multiplayer games, but when we're just having a quiet night at home, we play Commander against each other, and we play by the Dual Commander rules.
Cool.
What is Dual Commander? Let's explain a bit about that.
Yeah.
So, Dual Commander follows the exact same rules as classic multiplayer Commander, except for the following differences. First, players start the game with 20 life, so no commander damage. Second, in addition to the ability to put the commander back into the command zone if it would go to the graveyard or be exiled, you may do so also if it would be put into your library. That's not a difference.
That's
Third,
It's like, you're stupid.
yeah, it's like, do you need glasses, idiot? Third, new cards are legal on release day, the Friday following the pre-release. I think no, because in regular Commander you can play cards like the day after or of pre-release. at
Okay, so
sanctioned
you can,
events. Yeah, so that is the difference. And this isn't different, but they have their own ban list. So separate but equal. Let's say that. When dual, what were you gonna say, Eric?
isn't there also a format that you have 30 life?
Well, because the Dual Commander rules are different than 1v1 Commander on MTGO, and the ban list is different.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
This is like this is a whole separate entity. This is like Canadian Highlander type of difference.
Cool.
When Dual Commander tournaments are held, this is basically how they work. Matches are best of 3, which sounds like a lot. And since games take more time than smaller formats, we recommend a time limit of at least 55 minutes, and no sideboards are used. Karn the Great Creator, watch out.
No sideboard.
No sideboards.
No sideboard for you.
And if you go on MTG Top 8, when you look at Commander, their Commander tab, what you're looking at is Dual Commander results. At least that's my understanding. And apart from the points mentioned above, all the rules of Dual Commander obey the rules of classic multiplayer Commander, which, and this also includes the poison counter rules. You know about poison counters. I played with a guy.
You get 10 of them and you're dead.
I played with a guy the other night at a LGS, and he was kind of salty at the deck I was playing, and then the next game, he was kind of targeting me, and I didn't say anything about it, but he was like justifying it, and I'm like, you don't have to justify, what you're doing, like I get it, and he's like, no, I would never hold a grudge in between games.
I'm just going to attack you.
Unless someone's playing Infect, then I would, and it's like, I wanted to explain why Infect isn't really that good, but I was like, just listen to our Commander Controversies episode.
Yes,
I don't need to repeat myself. It's on the record.
The podcast.
Yeah.
We have it here.
It's on the record. Yeah. But before we get to the deck, let's quickly cover some SRAM lore, and it's going to be quick because I couldn't find a lot about this little guy.
I don't think dwarves like being called that.
I think little guy's okay.
Think so?
Well, if you were like,
I think I just want to be called a dwarf. Well,
if you were a short person, yeah, maybe you don't want to be called little.
I thought, for a while, little people was like the PC term, but it's probably since changed.
I think little people is still fine. They still
for little humans.
Well, no,
like you wouldn't want to call a human that's small a dwarf.
No, but these are actual dwarfs. This is like the species.
This is the species.
This is like
They're
Gimli
dwarf.
from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. It's magic.
It's funny when you're like, I think they prefer to be called dwarfs. It's like, Are they
I don't know. I
real?
think like Gimli gets angry when.
No, they're dwarfs. But
Yeah.
little guy's cute. I think it's endearing.
Sure.
I think Sram could take it. I think he's secure in himself.
He seems to be a smart guy. At his work
he's
table.
a senior guy.
He's
so.
certainly not compensating with all those artifact or auras and equipments.
No, not
for
at
his
all.
Small stature.
Yeah.
I've actually never thought about this. I'm glad we're having this conversation.
It's interesting.
He's really beefy.
Well, they're stocky, you know, so I don't know if it's that he's. I mean, yes, he is beefy, but that can mean a lot of things. I mean, I've had some pretty fatty pieces of beef. You know, if it's all like marbled in there, right?
But marbling.
Am I the only one?
Well,
If you get a good marbling, it's good.
that's what you want it. You want that. You want some.
You want some?
But you don't want that like big piece of fat that's just on the edge.
No, you cut that off.
Yeah.
I might nibble on it a little bit.
I'm not a fan of the fat.
All right, Eric's not a fan of the fat. Moving on.
Oh,
All right, so Sram was the Aether Hub's chief architect and a dwarf, if that wasn't already clear. Sram was instrumental in the maintenance of Girapur or Jirapur for many years, however you think you should say that. In response to the destructive efforts of the renegades, Sram and his team worked tirelessly to repair the city. And Sram's motto is, think bigger. That's a pretty good motto, I think.
Pretty good motto.
Are you looking at his flavor text? Ainsley, do you want to read the flavor text?
As this conflict grows, it gets harder to prevent the city from breaking down. How much longer can we keep this machinery balanced?
I don't know.
Good guy.
And the Renegades, just as a little aside, were a rebel faction in Jirapur on Kaladesh, on the plain of Kaladesh, and they were led by Pia Nalar, who's
Oh, cool.
Pia is
Chandra's mother.
Chandra's mother. Thought so. Last name gave it away. And hey, if you like lore, check us out on Patreon because we get really into the reads. We don't even talk about any magic cards. It's all lore. It's all story.
Story stuff.
All right, let's
No
get
fat.
to the deck. No one's nibbling on
trim
any
the fat.
fat. You know, not gonna catch me doing that. I do that on my own time. All right. So let's start off by reading Sram. Ainsley, do you want to take it away?
Sram, senior edificer, is 1 and a colorless.
1 and a white.
1 and a white. 1 and a white, guys.
Left to right, like you'd read a book.
He's 1 and a white. And he is a 2/2 dwarf advisor. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell, draw a card.
Ooh.
Pretty straightforward.
Straightforward card advantage.
He's a good guy.
Card advantage.
So,
Yeah.
if you listen to the episode we had Ainsley guest host on a couple episodes back, you know that Sram is a Voltron deck. So that's how this deck wins. But in Dual Commander, there is no combat damage, but the Voltron strategy still holds true. So you just want to attach as many auras and equipment you can to him and start swinging for loads of damage. And it does not take a lot to get to 20 damage, as you know.
I get him.
Yep.
Getting good.
There are a couple of alternate commanders in the deck if SRAM is no longer an option due to commander tax, and a command beacon if SRAM is too expensive. And also, you can check me out on Instagram at command beacon. This deck can be played in regular commander with a few card swaps, and in that scenario, it wins with regular commander damage. And the card swaps are like, so we didn't really talk about this with the ban list, but a lot of the cards that are banned in dual commander are the fast mana cards like Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, Soul Ring. A lot of the top tier tutors like Vampiric Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, fine, totally legal. And you know, I thought this was kind of funny when I first looked at the ban list. Ancient Tomb is legal. And I guess with Ancient Tomb, it is 2 mana, but it's a land drop, right? It's not like being able to play a Mana Crypt.
Yeah, so you're not
or
like playing your mana
Vault.
and also doing a...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, right. So, yeah, the swaps you'd have to make are like Soul Ring. Sensei's Divining Top isn't legal in Dual Commander, so you throw that in. You can throw in a Mana Vault, you know, so forth. So, and you know, I've played it in multiplayer, and you've piloted it a lot. Ainsley's piloted it a lot in Dual Commander setting. Yeah, 1v. It's
Got the moves.
It is a great 1v1 deck. Let me tell you.
I've had lots of fun playing it.
It's tough to deal with.
I
Yeah.
haven't played it in a multiplayer format. I don't think I've ever played multiplayer in Commander.
Are you sure? Didn't you play with me and Riley once at the cabin?
It was Patrick.
Was it Patrick? I think Riley. I think we also played with
yeah.
Riley also.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Riley.
Yeah, where's Riley? I
Hey,
wonder
dude.
where Riley is right now.
Yeah, what is he
I
doing?
wonder what he's probably listening to this.
I wonder if he's still bringing his glue to F&M.
He better bring it over on Saturday night
Be
for
better.
Commander League, let me
Yeah.
tell you that.
Hi, Riley.
Yeah, well, you know, like we haven't been playing as many games because we have a little baby now.
It's true.
We have a sweet baby.
And, you know, you got to do other stuff sometimes.
Yeah, so I just play Magic on my own. I'm like
Just at the table.
I'm like Bruce
And I'm just
Banner.
like-
yeah.
Taking care of our child, and you're like, I'm about to win this game. I'm sorry, I can't help. No, that's
Okay, I gotta change seats.
not at all what happens at all.
All right, so that's basically how the deck wins, and let's move on to the deck categories. So we're going to start with Voltron. So these are most of the goodies that SRAM will wear, but there are more auras and equipment in other deck categories that will draw us cards. So whenever we're talking about an aura and equipment, also think this will draw
Card
me a
draw.
card draw. Every single one's drawing a card. Not always, but SRAM's generally on the battlefield. SRAM on turn 2, you know, that's pretty common occurrence. Because in my experience, people don't tend to deal with him until he becomes a threat. But you're just getting value until then.
Yeah, you're just getting all the card draw value.
It's a lot of value.
Truly.
So we know what SRAM does. I will start off the Voltron category with a quarter shield. A quarter shield is 0 mana, an equipment. Equipped creature gets +0/+3 and has vigilance. Equip cost 3. Just a 0 mana, draw a card.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Next up, there is the new card from Eldraine.
Ooh, yeah.
All that glitters. One of anything and a white for a enchant aura. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control.
Yeah, this card is nuts.
It's a good card.
I like that, you know, Throne is not the new set, but I feel more excited about it, and I think like a lot of the community feels more excited about Throne than they do about Theros. I think it's just a more powerful set in general.
It's a more powerful set.
So just like I think it's gonna age really well. It's just it's so good, so much power.
So good.
I just love it.
So good.
So good.
So next we have Angelic Gift. It's colorless and 1 white for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When Angelic Gift enters the battlefield, draw a card. So you get to draw 2 cards.
That's right. Cast
Ooh.
and ETB. So even if they counter it, that's the great thing about SRAM. Even if you counter it, you still get the draw. 'cause
Like
Says
a
cast.
That's right.
before the spell resolves.
And enchanted creature has flying.
Yep. Got to make him evasive. Next up,
Yeah.
we have Avacyn's Collar. It's 1 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has vigilance. And whenever equipped creature dies, if it was a human, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. And equip cost is 2. That second part is rarely important.
It's like, SRAM's a dwarf.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's a little person.
Next up is the Basilisk Collar. It's 1 of anything for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has Death Touch and Lifelink for an equip cost of 2.
Classic.
Classic.
Is Bonesaw ready?
Bonesaw's ready. I have it pulled up here. I'm looking at it.
Spider-Man?
Oh, is that a reference?
In the first
Eric
Spider-Man
and I
movie
are both like,
with
"Huh?"
Tobey Maguire.
Is that the
when he goes
wrestler?
to the wrestling match,
wrestler!
Bonesaw
Yes.
is ready. And all the fans with the saws.
Yeah.
No. I was totally thinking that Bonesaw was a wrestler. I forgot that it was only in the world of Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man.
But that guy actually is a wrestler. That's Macho Man Randy Savage.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun.
Fun times. Have you seen that guy doing the YouTube videos where it's like Toby in the MCU and he like grabs clips from the first 3 Spider-Man movies and like puts them with the new Marvel stuff so it like looks like he's in
That's-
the MCU.
You're gonna have to send me a link for that. That sounds like
Yeah,
a
I'll
lot
have
of
to
fun.
find one of them. They just come up randomly sometimes, so I'll have to.
That's fun. So Bonesaw.
This is actually the card. Yeah.
Bonesaw is the card.
Yeah.
It's 0 mana.
Oh yeah.
It's an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0, and the equip cost is 1.
Nice. Love that. I like when the equip cost is 1. I should put Shadow Spear in this deck
Yes.
with all the board wipes,
you
right?
should put Shadow Spear.
Yeah, no kidding. I haven't even. How did that?
What are you doing?
Because it's also trample and lifelink.
I know it's trample.
Trample.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, Shadow Spear.
Is that
in the
card?
deck.
Is that card like quite pricey right now? Or
It's
is it-
$8.
Okay, not
When the
bad.
set launched, it was $8. It's still $8. So
What are the foils? That's what I like about these collector's boxes. It makes the foils not that much more expensive.
yeah, like even sometimes they're like the same price or like $2 or $3 more.
And
for,
I've tried to keep this deck pretty shiny.
yeah,
It's very shiny.
you should probably pick one up.
There's a number,
I will.
a few cards in this deck that do trample, or that give him trample.
Yeah.
I'm still not quite sure if I know.
You and me both.
I think we were talking about how it'd be like a sweet T-shirt. It's like I know what trample does, but I can't explain what trample does.
Yeah, it's like I know the truth, but I can't tell you.
Can you explain what trample
Yeah,
does,
let's.
Eric?
Can you explain trample and is it infect where you can assign the damage to the creature and then just choose to trample over?
No, you can do it with
No, you're both wrong.
No.
you can do it with Death Touch. And then how trample works is any combat damage that is not assigned to a creature will just go over to whatever the creature is attacking. So if you're attacking a planeswalker or if you're attacking a player, if your creature's a 7 power trample and they have 5 toughness, 7 power, so only 5 of that 7 is hitting the creature and the other 2 goes over to
The player.
There's not enough toughness to deal with that amount of power.
And then, we did come across in one of our commander leagues. If you have trample and death touch, because death touch says if you deal a damage to the creature, they die.
Right.
So you can actually have your trampling creature assign 1 point of damage to the creature because it'll die, and then the rest of it will go over to the player.
So they
Cool.
would take that 5 toughness creature would take 1, and then the player planeswalker would take 6.
Because you still have to assign as much possible damage until the creature dies
Yeah,
with the trampling.
right.
But if it has death touch, it just needs the 1 to kill it, and then the rest of it goes to the player.
Can you imagine how much longer games would take if you didn't have to assign enough damage to kill the creature and you could just kind of like divvy it up? It's like, no, I don't want to kill that creature. I just want all the damage to go to you.
Actually, there's a card, Thorn Elemental. It's a green card.
Oh, yeah.
And you may have its damage be dealt to the player instead of the creature.
Right.
And it's a 7/7.
Yeah, that's right.
For 7.
It's as though it weren't blocked, right? You can.
Yeah.
That's what like Putrefax is also another card like that, which has infect. Strangely enough. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Next Voltron equipment here is Champion's Helm.
This is a good one.
I like this one.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's 3 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, and as long as equipped creature is legendary, it has hexproof, and the equip cost is 1. Yeah, this is a solid. This needs a reprint because it's only been printed in Commander and this looks like it's OG Commander and a Masterpiece, which is what I had to get for the deck because there's no foil. Yeah, but not a very expensive Masterpiece. Let me tell
It
you.
was one of the lower ones, like 30, 40.
It was like 30, 32 or something
Yeah.
when I picked it up.
It's probably more now.
Probably.
Next up, we have the Colossus Hammer. So this is 1 mana. Equipped creature gets +10/+10 and loses flying.
Oh no, not
It
flying.
costs 8 to equip.
Yeah, and as you'll see, there's a lot of ways to equip things without paying that pesky equip cost in this deck.
So
So
this is 1 mana for +10/+10.
All right, next we have Conviction. It's colorless and 1 white mana for an enchantment aura, enchant creature. An enchanted creature gets +1/+3. And you can, what's it called?
pay a white.
You can pay white and return Conviction to its owner's hand. Isn't there a term for that?
Well, you are like bouncing it to your
Bouncing.
hand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would work. But the great thing about Conviction, and there are other cards like this in the deck, is this is repeatable card draw if you have enough mana, because you can keep playing it and drawing cards. But you can also save Conviction if there's a board wipe or something, and you want that to go back to your hand so you can keep drawing cards once you get Sram back out again.
Yes.
I love the flavor text on this card. There's no greater coward than one who believes in nothing. Just nihilists.
That's cool. Yeah.
Next up, we have Darksteel Axe. It's 1 mana for an equipment. Darksteel Axe has indestructible, and equipped creature gets +2/+0. Equip cost is 2.
Can't get rid of this bad boy.
And who's going to exile Darksteel Axe? Come on.
Yeah, that's a waste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Next up, we have the Imperial Plate.
This wins
love this
games.
one.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So 2 of anything for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each card in your hand. And equip is 2.
Yeah, this
This
is
and a sick reliquary tower.
this is a good and with like an early land tax. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very common tutor target. This particular
I
equipment.
usually pick this one.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
Just
You're
like,
oh,
let's
it's got
wrap it up,
plus
right? Game's gotta
15
end.
plus 15.
All right, next we have Flayer Husk. It's colorless mana for an equipment. Living Weapon. When this equipment enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 black germ
boy.
creature token, then attach this to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and the equip cost is 2.
So if you unequip, the germ dies because it's a 0/0. This is great because it is a 1 mana equipment that just draws you a card. But it's also good in a Voltron deck to have other creatures on the board because you will run into edict effects. And there is a little bit of that peppered into this deck. Next up, we have Flickering Ward, very similar to Conviction in terms of repeatable card draw. It's 1 white for an aura. Enchant creature. As Flickering Ward enters the battlefield, choose a color. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. This effect doesn't remove Flickering Ward, so you can choose Pro White. And you can pay 1 white mana to return Flickering Ward to its owner's hand. So this is the best version of this play an aura, draw a card, repeat in this deck because it's 1 white and then 1 white to return it to your hand. This card is really good.
And then also, like, color protection is a really strong ability as well.
Yeah, making him unblockable in a lot of cases.
Yeah. The only thing that made this card better would be if it has flash.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
End step, okay, I'm just going to play this, draw some cards.
You want to target it? Okay, we're going to bring it back. Pro red. So next up, we have the Golem Skin Gauntlets. This is 1 of anything for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 for each equipment attached to it. And then equip cost is 2.
Yeah, this can get out of hand too.
This looks like it'd be a cool foil.
It is. I can show you. I got the deck box right there.
Sweet.
It's right there. So next up is...
Everybody point to the box.
it's pink. Hammer of Nazan. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right. It's 4 colorless, and it's a legendary artifact equipment. Whenever Hammer of Nazan or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has indestructible, and the equip cost is 4.
Yeah, this can really get out of hand because, you can just play Colossus Hammer and it immediately attaches to Sram and so forth.
Yeah, this card is value.
Yeah, it's worth the 4 mana. It's a little high on the curve, but it's
worth.
totally worth it.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Helm of the Gods. It's 1 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control, and the equip cost is 1.
Nice and cheap.
Yeah, just getting it done.
Quick and dirty.
Next up is the Honed Kopesh. This is 1 mana for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and equip is 1.
Yep. Nice. Straight to the point.
Cool.
Up next is Kite Shield. It's 0 mana for an equipment, and equipped creature gets +0/+3, and the equip cost is 3.
Next up, we have Pentarch Ward. It's 2 and a white for an aura enchant creature. As Pentarch Ward enters the battlefield, choose a color. When Pentarch Ward enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has protection from the chosen color. This effect doesn't remove Pentarch Ward. So again, you can choose mono white.
Yep,
Or
always
pro,
good.
pro white.
Pro
I should
white.
say. Mono white.
Also double card draw.
Double card draw. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I like it.
Next up is the Prowler's Helm. This is 2 of anything for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature can't be blocked except by walls.
Usually making him unblockable.
Unblockable. And equip cost is 2.
Unless you're playing against an Arcades deck.
That's a good one.
I'm the only one I know that plays that. That plays Arcades. Not that it's a bad deck. It's a fine deck.
Yeah.
Next up is Short Sword. It's 1 colorless mana for an equipment, and equipped creature gets +1/+1.
That reminds me of Honed Kopesh a little bit. Next up, we have Spider Silk Net. It's 0 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature gets +0/+2 and has reach, and the equip cost is 2.
Next up, we have Sword of Feast and Famine, which is 3 of anything for an artifact equipment. So this is one of the mainline swords. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has pro black and red. Black and green, sorry. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player,
Ainsley shaking her head.
that player discards a card and you tap all lands you control.
Oh man.
This is just... It's like,
pretty
I get
rude.
It's like I get another basic, like basically in my second main phase, I'm just going to draw a bunch more cards and play a bunch more artifacts. It's pretty sweet.
Up next, we have a nice trusty machete. It's what are you
I was just
laughing?
thinking about how you normally say it when we play.
I don't want to say it.
Don't say it that way. You can just read the card.
I was.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Sorry.
It's 1 colorless for an equipment. An equipped creature gets +2/+1, and equip cost is 2.
It's a pretty nice
Pretty trusty.
machete. Next up, we have Unquestioned Authority. It's 2 and a white for... I'm getting all the pro boys.
Yeah.
Unquestioned Authority, 2 and a white for an aura. Enchant creature. When Unquestioned Authority enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchant creature has protection from creatures. Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one. And that was just printed in the new 2018 Commander set, right? Or is that in previous printings?
It was originally from Judgment.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oldie.
it's got the bird on it.
yeah.
Yeah,
The bird.
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 All right, we are moving on to ramp.
The ramp section.
Why don't you take us away, honey? No, it's Eric
not my
next.
turn. Take
Sorry.
us away, honey.
Honey, please. You're both honeys.
Next up, we have in the first slot of ramp, Ancient Tomb. So it's a land drop, and it taps for 2 mana. Ancient Tomb deals 2 damage to you.
Oh,
that
no.
seems bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'll I do?
Oh no.
Ooh, is this a dual card?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so next up we have Dousing Dagger. It's 2 colorless for an equipment. When Dousing Dagger enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2/0/2 green plant creature tokens with Defender.
Plant.
Equipped creature gets +2/+1. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may transform Dousing Dagger. Equip 2. And it transforms into Lost Veil, which you can tap to add 3 mana of any one color
Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
to your swimming pool.
Yeah, those tokens were surprisingly difficult to find.
But you have
Really?
them. We've got them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess and which is surprising because like I drafted that set quite a bit and I didn't have the tokens. And like I keep tokens,
Yeah.
but that's honestly like the hardest thing to find sometimes.
You're just like, I want the right tokens.
Certain tokens, I do
Yeah.
want the right tokens.
Yeah, it's nice to have.
I've made some for you.
You have no, and I get a lot of compliments. Ainsley made Wormcoil Engine tokens because they were quite expensive for a token.
For a token, it's expensive.
Yeah, and so she made 2 tokens each for the lifelink and the death touch, and I do get a lot of people being like, "Damn, dog, look at those tokens."
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, next up we have Explorer's Scope. It's 1 mana for an equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped and equip cost of 1.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
I really like this next one.
This is a powerful card. So it's extra planar lens. So it's 3 of anything for an artifact. When you play it, you imprint. When extra planar lens enters the battlefield, you may exile target land you control. Whenever a land with the same name as the exiled card is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. So we have a bunch of snow-colored plains.
Snowy.
Yeah, so you tap one of those, you get double mana.
Yep. That's put it in all your monocolored decks with snow lands. You won't be disappointed.
Just run snow lands in all your decks.
Yeah, and then you aren't helping other guys.
That's right.
And then people are going to start playing regular lands with extra planar lands because everyone has snow lands. And it's like a back and forth.
That's probably what's going to happen, but it hasn't happened after.
It hasn't happened. I haven't seen people playing snow lands.
It hasn't happened after about 4 years, so I don't anticipate. I think monocolored decks are just less common, right? People want to play
Yeah, and
multiple colors.
like I would put snow lands in all of mine, but your art is limited as to what you can choose for what your lands look like.
Sure.
So that's why I don't do that, because I like pretty stuff.
Fair enough. I like I like the OG Snowlands.
Yeah, they're nice.
Next up, we have Gift of Estates. It's 1 colorless and 1 white for a sorcery. If an opponent controls more lands than you, search your library for up to 3 plains cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Bitch.
So not really a ramp card, more of a fixing card, if you will. But you can get misspell planes with it, or you can get duels with it, but there aren't any in this deck. But it is in the ramp section, nonetheless. Next up, we have Hedron Archive. It's 4 mana for an artifact. You can tap it for 2 colorless mana, or you can pay 2, tap it, sacrifice Hedron Archive, draw 2 cards.
One
of those mana rocks you can later get some cards for.
That's right. They should all be like that.
They should.
They should retcon them.
It's like Soul Ring should be like just tap it and draw 2 cards.
Right. Yeah, tap, sacrifice, draw 2 cards.
Yeah, then you pay for it. Next up is Helm of Awakening. So this is 2 of anything for an artifact. Spells cost 1 less to cast. So that's for
everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, symmetrical effect. But in this deck, when there's so many 1-drops,
oh yeah,
it's you're getting so much value. It's like when you play Horn of Green in a Land Matters deck.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is called Land Tax. It's 1 white for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you, you may search your library for up to 3 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. It's similar to the last one I just read.
Yes, very much so. Land Tax is awesome. Especially in when you're in multiple colors, because it just says basic.
Yes, so you grab any basic.
You can really fix, and you will end up discarding cards, but even if I'm in that situation, I'll still take the land tax trigger because it thins up my deck.
Yeah.
And I'll draw into gas. I was thinking about this recently about, that phrase, drawing into gas, and it's funny because the lands are the things that produce mana, which is more like fuel.
Yep. But we call cards that do things.
Playables gas.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's it. Next up, we have Mind Stone. It's 2 mana for an artifact. It taps for a colorless, or you can pay 1, tap it, sacrifice it to draw a card.
Solid staple.
Oh, yeah.
Next up is Mox Amber. So it's no mana for a legendary artifact, and you can tap it to add 1 mana of any color among legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control.
So it doesn't help you get Sram out any faster, but you can, let's say on turn 2, you cast Sram, then you play your Mox Amber, then you can play, 1 more thing, draw a card, maybe you have a 0, draw, you can
Wheel it and deal it.
You can do stuff.
You can do stuff. It's good.
Next is Paradise Mantle. It's 0 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature has tap, add 1 mana of any color. Equip cost 1.
Nice. All right, next up we have Remote Farm. It's a land. Remote Farm enters the battlefield tapped with 2 depletion counters on it, and you can tap it to remove a depletion counter from it, Remote Farm, and add 2 white to your mana pool. If there are no depletion counters on Remote Farm, sacrifice it. So I know what you're thinking. This is a bad card. And it's kind of super slow ramp. If you play this, you play this on turn 1.
Enters tapped.
Then, there's a whole cycle of these from Mercadian Mask, one for each color. And if this didn't enter tapped, these would be amazing. And in the right deck, these can be pretty good. I've used these in like Lands Matter decks or Atraxa. You could proliferate, right, and get another depletion counter every time. After the first turn, it's not that bad. But in a deck that's so low to the ground, this card does do work.
Does work.
That being said, you really don't want to be sacrificing lands in a mono white deck.
No.
In general. Moving on.
We're moving on to Sword of the Animist. This is 2 of anything for a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. Whenever equipped creature attacks, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. The equip cost is 2. 2. This is really good because it's on the attack trigger, so you don't have to worry about doing damage to a certain thing. Mm-hmm. You're just like, oh, I get the trigger. We're good.
Can we get a land?
Yep.
Bye.
Terrain Generator. It's a land. Mm-hmm. You tap and you can add a colorless Or you can pay 2 colorless, tap. You may put a basic land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped.
Yeah, I put this card in most of the monocolored builds that I'll put together, unless it's green.
I think this card's extra good when you're running a deck that has land tax. Because you're getting so many lands out of your deck with land tax, usually.
Yeah.
And if you want to discard, you can like play an extra land out.
Yep. Yeah, you're getting like an additional land.
Yeah.
If you have the mana to do it, obviously.
Yeah.
Extra good.
Okay, last but not least in this category, we have Thought Vessel. It's 2 mana for an artifact. You have no maximum hand size, and you can tap it for a colorless. This card desperately needs a reprint.
We're going to say it every time.
$15.
Needs a reprint.
Don't like it. Okay, we're moving on to the protection part of the deck. So it's, what you'd kind of expect. And Eric, why don't you take this away for us?
Yeah. First up, to protect our Sram. Captain's Clause. 2 of anything for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets a +1/+0. Whenever equipped creature attacks, create a 1/1 white core allied creature token that's tapped and attacking. Equip cost is 1.
Yeah.
So how does this protect Sram?
It helps protect against edict effects. So we get the token. Hopefully we're attacking into an empty board so they don't block and kill our token. And then we have it for edict effects. I think I've been traumatized by edict effects, but it just ruins this strategy.
It's also good to have some sort of backup for edict effects because they exist.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you say Sram. It's more elegant. I say Sram.
Yeah.
It's like the difference.
Like he's ramming.
He's ramming his Sram.
He's ass ramming.
It's like the difference between like avocado and avocado.
Avocado. It's like how my mom says it.
Avocado.
Your mama says avocado.
Well, I think that's like a Saint Patel thing.
Just Saint Patel?
Well,
I don't think
you're
so.
Saint Patel, and you're not saying SRAM like us, so who knows?
Sram. I really like that. Sram.
Yeah.
It sounds refined.
It does sound elegant.
Yeah, it's good. As long as you don't say tiger instead of
What?
tiger.
Who's what?
Who says Tager?
It's an I.
Some people
tiger.
say it. Some people say it.
It's tiger.
They're
Some
wrong.
people call it
Yeah,
film
they're-
instead of film.
Yeah, it's film.
Not film.
Oh, yeah. And I worked at a photo place. So they're like, oh, can I pick up like a 36 roll of film?
No,
And
you
like,
can't. Please leave.
Yeah. It's
out.
film. You literally like
It's one syllable. We don't need two.
especially
We're
for
done.
where we are in life.
We're
like,
done
if you're
here.
still shooting film,
Yeah.
you should know it's called film.
Yeah, you're doing that's a niche
You're all wrong.
product
It's very
right there,
niche.
buddy.
Yeah.
Also,
Like,
it's
I'm gonna go
niche.
see a film.
It's
not
niche, not
niche.
niche. We could go on and on. We should
It's French.
It's niche.
All right.
niche.
Okay. Let's
People
just
in
get
the States say niche, but they also say roof.
I didn't know toque was synonymous with Canadians. I didn't know it was a Canadian word.
Yeah,
a
they say
Canadian word.
I
beanie.
thought everyone knew toque.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I left my toque on the Chesterfield next to my serviette.
I got a winter hat.
Oh, don't ya know? You betcha. Gift of Immortality. It's 2 colorless and 1 white for an aura. When enchanted creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Return Gift of Immortality to the battlefield attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step.
I think this is like on the chopping block. This
Really?
one. Well, because you don't like SRAM dies, so all the equipments get removed. All the
RIP.
auras go to the graveyard. Yes, he's still on the battlefield. He's not going to be affected by summoning sickness at the beginning of the next turn. But yeah, it's 3 mana. Like I think there's just better. There's better stuff.
For what you're doing, there might be better stuff out there.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying.
I think so.
Because then as well, like you are trying to protect Sram, and then this card still gives people a window to get rid of Sram.
Right.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up we have a Lightning Greaves. Classic. 2 mana for an equipment. Equipped creature has haste and shroud. Equip cost 0. Don't equip Lightning Greaves unless you have another creature. Don't equip it to SRAM unless you have another creature.
Because
Just
then you can't
I've gotten
put,
in trouble before.
Yes.
Yeah.
you can't put anything else on. Yeah.
that's a lesson we don't want you to have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about putting something like this together.
Next up, the other classic, Swift of Boots. 2 of anything for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature has hexproof and haste. And equip cost is 1.
And the eternal debate, which is better? I don't know.
They're both good.
They're both very good. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think
no one's
you can
arguing that.
No, yeah. I think in most decks, like Lightning Greaves is better
Yeah, of course.
because you're not targeting your own stuff.
Yeah,
in a lot
and
of
it's zero.
decks.
The quick
And it's
cut, that zero really.
Yeah, you're just like, you can just
Yeah.
move it around. Yeah.
And the times when it matters, you know.
You play a creature that has an ability you want to use right away, you can just play it, equip,
Boom, boom,
tap,
boom. Yeah.
good to go.
All right, we're going to move on to the tutors section of this deck.
Look at all the tutors.
Look at them. Mono white.
So we have Enlightened Tutor. It's 1 white, and it's an instant. Search your library for an artifact or enchantment card and reveal that card. Shuffle your library, then put the card on top of it.
That's right.
Put it.
Just
it-
got reprinted. Buy your foils now.
No, that's
Shiny.
Idyllic Tutor that got reprinted.
Yep.
Enlightened Tutor, the foils are very expensive.
And Eric just got enlightened.
Oh, boom! Got him. Next up, we have Idyllic Tutor. It's 2 and a white for a sorcery. Search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library. Library.
Hey guys, it got reprinted. You should buy your foils now.
Oh, it's so good that you mentioned that, Eric. We didn't know. We didn't know.
Next up, I like this card. Inventor's Fair. Legendary land. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. You can tap it for a colorless. You can also pay 4 and tap it to sacrifice Inventor's Fair. Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only if you have 3 or more artifacts.
That's right. You need Metalcraft for the life gain
Yep.
and the tutor.
That's fun.
Yeah, good card though.
Oh, great card.
Yeah,
Hashtag great card.
I had a playset because I played it in standard.
What deck?
My Panharmonicon Infinite Thopters.
Oh yeah,
Deck.
that's fun. I like that. I remember hearing about that.
Wasn't the
You
best,
heard?
but
No.
it could still win.
Yeah, of course.
Up next is Open the Armory. It's colorless and 1 white for sorcery. Search your library for an aura or equipment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then
Nice.
shuffle your library.
Flexible.
Pretty solid.
I like it. Next up, we have Steel Shaper's Gift. It's 1 white for a sorcery. Search your library for an equipment card, reveal that card, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your library.
Tutoring for 1 mana seems pretty good.
Drink every time we say shuffle.
Library.
Hey. Next up is 3 Dreams. So 4 of anything and a white for a sorcery. Search your library for up to 3 aura cards with different names. Reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your library. Seems like a pretty good rate.
Yeah, it is a good rate. Do you know how to say 3 dreams in French, Ainsley?
I don't know dreams in French.
All right, you can just say. Can you say 3 in French and then dreams in English?
Trey Dreams.
Nice, got it.
Oh, it's Trois.
Trey
Trois.
is Spanish.
I was
Yeah.
saying that
Trois.
yesterday. Yeah.
Trois.
Nice.
Up next, we're looking
Yeah.
at recursion.
Bringing stuff back.
Bringing it back. So we have Buried Ruin.
Backstreet's back.
All right.
See what you've done, Eric?
Yes.
I'm delighted.
Oh my God,
We're back again. The hook in that song, it's so good.
God, I love it.
Epic.
Oh, man.
It's my first CD.
Oh, yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
That's cute. Buried.
Buried.
Yeah,
Ruin.
it's buried,
Yeah.
not buried.
You can say it
Buried.
either way. You can say buried.
But it's a U.
Buried. It's my buried road.
Barry is like Barry.
Buried.
So if you bury something, you're not bury, it's bury.
So you spell it differently if you're saying bury and
think
you're
it's-
burying it?
No,
Oh
I'm
no,
saying if
like the
somebody says-
fruit, like a
yeah,
berry.
Yeah, if somebody says like I'm gonna go bury that, but it's like it's bury. You're gonna go bury something because bury is something else.
I don't think that's accurate.
I think
but-
it's like lead and lead, how it's spelt the same and you can just
Yeah.
pronounce it different ways. But in the case of lead and lead, they have different meanings. Anyways.
or read and red.
Yeah, but you're not spelling. Yeah,
But if you bury something or you bury something, it's still spelled
It's the same.
Bury.
it
Correct.
is. Yeah,
Thank you for
Yes.
clarifying.
Yes, it's never spelled with an A. But some people
I'm saying
say
the
bury.
the way you're saying it, it should be spelled with an A. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't disagree.
Oh, I see what you're saying,
I don't
Eric.
disagree with you.
We were looking at Eric with very confused faces. We
Yeah.
were like,
Eric's like, no, everyone else is wrong.
Yeah.
I'm the white one over
Okay.
here.
Buried Ruin. It's a land. You tap for a colorless, or you can pay 2 colorless, tap, sacrifice Buried Ruin, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Get it.
Get that. Get
Get
that
it back.
Next up, we have Hall of Helioid's Generosity. A legendary land, you can tap it for a colorless, and you can pay 1 and a white to tap it, put target enchantment card from your graveyard on top of your library.
Good stuff.
Yep, great card.
Mistvale Plains is next up. It's a land, and it's a plains. You can
Yeah, you can get it with Gift of Estates.
like how the tapping to add white is in brackets.
Well, they gotta make sure even though it's a plains.
Yeah.
You gotta know.
That's not clear.
Mistvale Plains enters the battlefield tapped. You can also pay 1 white and tap it to put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. Activate this ability only if you control 2 or more white permanents.
That's gonna be tough.
I feel like Mistvale Plains is one of those cards that I get every time I play with this deck. You know, like there's just like some cards in some decks where it's like every time you play, you get it.
You
Then
just
there's
see it.
some cards that you just never see.
Yeah, absolutely, totally. And the cards that I never see, sometimes I just take them out of the deck.
Doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. It's like
Like, this is a good card, but I don't see it, so I'm just gonna take it out.
yeah.
It's like Heart of the Cards or something.
If
You
I
know,
haven't seen it by now, I'm never gonna see it.
or maybe it's like how when you put tickets into a silent auction, you have to bend it, and it's more likely to get picked. So maybe like for those cards,
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
Fun
silent
fact.
auctions. This is a
Yes,
whole new arena for me.
Bend your tickets if you're putting them in. I'm telling
right.
you, they're more likely to get picked. Except when everyone else is doing it too, then it's just stupid.
Yeah, don't broadcast this.
Too
Ruining
late.
silent auctions.
Ainsley, can you cut this part out, please?
I want to win on my silent auctions still.
Oh, fun.
All right, next up we have Open the Vaults. It's 4 and 2 white for a sorcery. Return all artifact and enchantment cards from all graveyards to the battlefield under their owner's control. Auras with nothing to enchant remain in graveyards. We'll have something to enchant. All right? Just take it easy, Open the Vaults. So, any hesitation you have over playing cards like this?
Eric and I are laughing because you skipped me.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, you were going to read Misspelled Plains.
No, he
I
read
read
Misfilled
Misfilled
Plains,
Plains.
and then I commented, and you're like, "Your talking time is over." Now I'm going to read
Oh,
the
well,
card.
you can read the next one. I'm sorry about
You're,
that.
you're great.
You can
So-
swap.
Yeah, we'll just we'll do the old swapsies. So just like Helm of Awakening, like this is because we've built our deck around artifacts and enchantments, artifacts especially. This is going to be so much more beneficial to us than it will be to our opponents. A lot of times you play Open the Vaults, and a lot of decks get back a Soul Ring and a Lightning Greaves. You know, it's just not.
Yeah.
You're getting so much value for 6 mana. And this is just a way to sort of eke your way back into the game.
But if you had the money, you could replace this with Replenish if you felt like.
Does Replenish hit artifacts? I think it just hits enchantments.
Is that
That's
just
why
enchantments?
That's why it's not in here. I have a Replenish in my Sigarda Voltron deck.
Oh, maybe it is just.
I think it's just enchantments because that's a reserve list card. That
It is a
card's
reserve list
like
card.
pretty pricey. I certainly didn't pay what it costs now.
Enchantments. Yep. No artifacts.
All right, so sorry about that. We're
My
gonna do
turn.
next up. We're gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
Next up,
does it
it's
again.
my
I'm
turn.
doing the rest of these.
Yeah. Just reading the rest. Let's get through it, guys.
Eric and I just leave.
All right, it's just me, just me and Abra.
It's the Kevin
For the
show.
rest. Yeah.
He's sleeping on Eric's coat. Roar of Reclamation.
Meow.
Yeah. It's 5 colorless and 2 white for a sorcery. Each player returns all artifact cards from their graveyard to the battlefield.
This card is dirt. The foil was like 49 cents.
Seems like it would be. It's very expensive for what it does.
I like the
dirt
Beast
cheap.
Man on it.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like a cat.
He's a cat man. Right? I'm a scat man.
Oh, it's good.
It's good stuff.
It's so good.
Hey.
You make fun of jokes.
All right, Eric. We're going to have to skip over me because
Yeah.
I did a skip, and now we got to go to you.
It's like
Next up-
Uno. It's all
Yeah.
confusing.
Next up is Sun Titan. So this is 4 of anything and 2 white for a giant. He's got Vigilance, And whenever Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with CMC 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
I love that he can hit lands.
Yeah, super
God,
good.
I love Sun Titan.
Sun Titan's such a good card. I love this card so much. If you can fit it in a deck, I usually try and do that. Because again, if you have like fetch lands and stuff as well, you can get the fetch land back, crack it, get the land out of your deck. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Lots of good value.
A blazing sun that never sets.
Yeah. And some other cool things you can do with it as well. Like, for example, Mind Stone. You can tap the Mind Stone, draw a card, attack with Sun Titan, bring Mind Stone back.
Oh, yeah. Value.
Value.
What I used to do with Sun Titan in my Brago deck is I would... I'd like strip mine, and then I'd play Sun Titan, and I'd get strip mine back, and then I'd strip mine again, and then I'd Brago, and then I'd blink Sun Titan, and then I get strip mine back, and then I'd strip mine again.
That's
fun.
so good.
Yeah, that's a lot of... Get 3 strip mines a turn.
That's so good.
That's like when you're playing Catan with some of the expansions, like the ones where you have like the coins and stuff, and you ask to trade a certain resource,
And you do resource monopoly.
and then you do resource monopoly. It's like
I know you all had that wheat.
I'm
and then you
having
get
a
it
big
back.
turn.
Give me that.
And I got a 2-to-1 wheat port, so you're done. You're never gonna get wheat in this town again.
I love Catan.
No, we should play Catan. We all love Catan.
I love Catan. I haven't played it in like years.
Yeah, we haven't played it.
It
in
was
a while.
super hot for a minute there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
kind of
was.
like how Cards Against Humanity was like everybody was playing Cards Against
Yeah.
Humanity. Now it's like,
Well, I
I
used
still really like Catan though. Like,
oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
no,
Catan's
Catan's-
still solid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I used to live with 3 other guys.
I don't know why.
I know a lot of dudes
You know
too.
why?
we
'Cause
share the
there's a
same
line.
bed.
There's a line. It's that funny guy. I don't know his name. He's an actor, but in Friends, there's an
know what you're
episode
talking about.
where he says, "I live in a studio apartment with 3 other guys." It sounded exactly.
So I used to live with 3 other guys plus me, so
In-
it's four dudes.
in a studio apartment.
No, we were in a basement of a house.
Nice.
So it was 4 bedrooms, and we'd play Catan at least once a day, sometimes twice. And we had a much like our commander board here, but not as ornate. And we had a little piece of paper on the fridge with a Catan kill count, and like you can look at my Catan now with the expansions and how much dirtier the original game is versus the expansions, because we just played the original game so much.
That's fine.
nice.
And I still love Catan.
Yeah.
I'd play Catan right now if you guys wanted to, but we're in the middle of the show.
It's true.
It's like
Just
breakup
pause it.
Catan.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right.
Next, we have Cage of Hands. It's 2 colorless and 1 white for an aura. Enchanted creature can't attack or block, and you can pay 1 colorless and 1 white to return Cage of Hands to its owner's hand.
Yeah, we've moved on to the removal package.
Yes.
And this is much like Conviction or Flickering Ward. We can bounce this for repeated card draw, but we can also move it over to different creatures that we don't want to attack us, or better yet, block.
Yeah.
Old Srammy boy. Next up, we have Crush Contraband. It's 3 and a white for an instant. Choose 1 or both. Exile target artifact or exile target enchantment.
Good card.
Totally, yeah, the exile. That's what you want to see.
I need to put this in my league deck. But yeah.
No, you don't have the slots.
like-
How many slots did you get this time?
2.
Oh, right, because you won. Yeah, I was choked. I wanted 8 slots. I only got 4.
Yeah. Next up is Day of Judgment. 2 of anything and 2 white for a sorcery. Destroy all creatures.
Boom.
And this card
You're
has
judged.
a really cool textless. Check it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was when they were doing play rewards.
Yeah.
They're never going to bring that back.
Nope. Because it was a good thing.
That's right. No, everything
Yeah,
they...
so they're like, nah.
Now when they have a good thing, they just like run it into the ground until the value disappears, and they're like, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, this next card is sad for everybody else, but it's okay.
It's not totally sad for everybody.
Well, it's a little.
They
sad.
get
It could be
one.
Sad.
You get one.
Everybody gets one.
You get one.
It's like Sophie's Choice.
It's a tough one.
Who's Sophie?
It's a
It's a
film.
film.
Don't say film. Don't. You're gonna make Eric mad again.
Steam,
Eric's like,
steam coming up the ears.
So this is Divine Reckoning. It's 2 colorless and 2 white mana for sorcery. Each player chooses a creature they control. Destroy the rest. You can flashback for 5 colorless and 2 white. And it says you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it.
I mean, this card is great in any Voltron deck that has white. Mm-hmm. But I just love flashback.
Oh, so
in
good.
Commander.
Oh, yeah.
In any format, but in Commander, in Singleton format, it's like, oh, I have a second copy of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Love it. Love it. Alrighty. Next up, we have Mouth of Ronum.
Who's Ronum?
Ronum. It's a place.
Whose mouth is this?
I think it's a place on Dominaria.
It's like the mouth of a cave.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a land. It's a snow land. It taps for a colorless, or you can pay 4 and a snow mana to tap it, sacrifice Mouth of Ronum. It deals 4 damage to target creature.
Snow mana?
This is kind of a pet card of mine.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's a cool card, but it's like not like the amount of times I've actually used it for the sacrifice deal 4 damage effect is very low. But the thing about it is it's 4 damage. Like that hits a lot
It's
of
removal.
commanders.
Yeah.
It hits a lot of creatures. Like it does do work.
Yeah. Removal on lands is always good.
Yeah, I think that 4 damage really takes it over the top.
Hey, next up we have Overwhelming Splendor. This is 6 of anything and 2 white for an aura curse. You get to enchant a player. Creatures enchanted player control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1.
Yeah, this is really good in 1v1 because you're just like, well, I guess that's it for me. Didn't you played this on me? I was playing my Duretti deck, and I had a pretty good board. I had like Darksteel Forge and tons of artifacts, and I was wheeling and dealing, and you're like, I can't have that.
And then you died.
I did die, yes.
And then it went to the graveyard, and then I brought it back and put it on Riley.
That's right, and Riley, the game ended shortly thereafter.
Yes.
Hi, Riley.
Hi, Riley.
Hi, Riley.
All right, up next. You did one. You just did one, right, Eric?
Oh, yeah,
My
I just
turn?
did
Okay.
Overwhelming Splendor.
Okay.
Even though I didn't read the second part of it, enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities.
Yeah, it just takes care of everything.
It takes care of everything. So, like, for example, if someone Overwhelming Splendors you can't pay the equip cost on any of the artifacts.
And the thing is, I wanted to. So when Eric played that, I'm playing my Duretti Scrap Savant deck,
Paint a picture.
and I was like, if I just need to draw a Spine of Ishsaw because that'll take care of it.
Yep.
Did you Heart of the Cards it?
I did,
No.
but I didn't have enough heart because I drew Meteor Golem, which is like Spine of Ishsaw, but it's a creature. And the way that Overwhelming Splendor and like Humility type cards work is when it enters the battlefield, it's a 1/1 without any ability, so I don't get the ETB to destroy a permanent. And then I just
So
And then you
close.
cry.
started cleaning up my
So close.
cards.
Because Riley had, like...
But it was good. I mean, I can't fault you for like, I just, I like cards that are just like I win the game.
Yeah.
I just like cards like that. I don't know why you like what you like, but if a card says I win the game, Overwhelming Splendor doesn't say it, but it kind of does. It's just.
And I think the game was at a spot where I was like, I can control what Riley's doing, but you can go off and win. So I was like, you're first, Riley second.
Yeah, and that was a long game, and like sometimes we get a league game in, and then we'll play like 2 or 3 games. But that was like the
We
one
played
game
one
that
league
we
and
played.
we played one after.
Yeah,
That was it.
It was a long
one.
Up next is Scour Glass. It's 3 colorless and 2 white. It's an artifact. You can tap, sacrifice Scour Glass, destroy all permanents except for artifacts and lands. Activate this ability only during your upkeep.
Don't do it any other time.
Don't!
Well, because you can't.
It's fun to say Scour Glass.
It is fun.
Just like that card. And this is one of those cards that I'll play and people will be like, hey, what is that?
Yeah, because this is actually like kind of more of like an unknown card. It's a weird one. I like this
Yeah.
card a lot, though. I had it in my Brea deck.
So you knew about it. You didn't tell me.
Sure.
Next up, we have Swords to Plowshares. Why isn't Pat the Exile in this deck? That's kind of... I should throw one in here.
You can take out Gift of Immortality and put in Path to Exile.
You're right.
There you go.
Eric just solving
Wow.
problems.
Wow. Okay, we're ending the episode right here. Wrap it up. I gotta go do this right now. Swords to Plowshares, if you don't know, is 1 white mana for an instant. Exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power, but we don't care about that.
We're doing commander damage.
In commander damage. But in dual commander, it is a little bit more of a thing.
It's a bit of a thing.
But still.
Still, with how big Sram's getting,
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
you don't care.
Beak, beak.
But he's still short, just to be clear.
He's more beefy.
Yeah, he's getting
He's
like
like
getting
beefcake.
He's just getting hunkered down. It's like you can't knock him over.
Yeah,
He's thick without a K.
That's right.
can't move me. Next up is Winds of Wrath. 3 of anything and 2 white for a sorcery. Destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted. They can't be regenerated.
Also, great card in an Enchantress build. Great one-sided board wipe.
Super good one-sided board wipe. This is such a good card for those kind of strategies.
Yeah, underplayed, underrated.
Yeah.
The next card is Wrath of God. It's 2 colorless and 2 white for a sorcery. Destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. I have a question.
Classic.
Yeah.
What's up?
Why is this card Wrath spelled with a W, and the last card it is not?
Oh, because Wrath is a place. Oh. So it's the Winds of Wrath.
See, okay,
It's
this
like
is why
it's
you
like
ask
if
questions.
it was the Winds of Winnipeg.
Cute.
They can be brutal sometimes.
They're rough.
Oh man,
Yeah.
today? You kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, what I've been doing is I take my pashmina and I put it over my nose, and then I have a toucan, and then I have these big sunglasses, like these Jackie O type sunglasses, and I put them over the pashmina scarf line so that when I breathe, the sunglasses don't fog. This is the life I'm living.
In Winnipeg.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on to equipment support. First up, we have Auric Steel Shaper. It's 1 and a white for a human soldier, 1/1. Equip costs you pay costs 1 less. As long as Auric Steel Shaper is equipped, each creature you control that's a soldier or a knight gets +1/+1.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. But the equip cost reduction does
good.
make a big difference. Also, super cheap foil.
Oh, cool.
And Mirrodin, I love Mirrodin
Oh,
foils.
they're good foils.
So bright and shiny.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, love it.
Next up, Balan Wandering Knight. 2 of anything and 2 white for a legendary cat knight. It's got first strike. It's a 3/3. Balan Wandering Knight has double strike as long as 2 or more equipment are attached to it. And then you can also pay 1 and a white. Attach all equipment you control to Balan.
So you could easily swap this out as the commander of the deck.
Yeah.
Balan is a really good equipment commander. And the great thing about the activated ability is that it doesn't target. So you can just attach all the equipment you control to Balan. But Balan's a really good secondary commander in the deck
Yeah, for sure.
if you lose SRAM.
Even if you get this out, like if you have SRAM out, but then you play Balan, like it'd be good to just... He gets double strike.
Absolutely, and if you have like Swiftfoot Boots or Lightning Greaves,
Yeah.
then yeah, you just attach it
You're
all and
laughing.
swing
Get
away.
going.
Yeah.
All right, up next is Brass Squire. This guy's a cute little guy.
He is cute.
He's an artifact creature. He's a mirror. You tap and attach target equipment you control to target creature you control.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. Just
I didn't know that card
Oh, and
existed.
he's a 1 and 3.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a big butt.
Big butt.
Next up, we have a Leonin Shakari. It's a 1 and a white for a cat soldier 2/2. You may activate, mate.
Activate.
You may activate equipped abilities anytime you could cast an instant. So you can, equip at instant speed. Wouldn't that be nice?
Good stuff.
But always. Not just if you had
Always.
Leonin Shakari.
Next up is Masterwork of Ingenuity. It's 1 of anything for an artifact equipment. You may have Masterwork of Ingenuity enter the battlefield as a copy of any equipment on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
Not just yours. Yeah, this is a great card.
Yeah.
I like this next guy.
What is this next guy?
He's another one of like the alternate commanders. Like you can just because he kind of does what SRAM does, but better.
He's a pure steel paladin, and it's 2 white for a human knight, 2/2. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card, which is great if you already have Sram on the
Sram,
battlefield and just drawing
Choose
cards.
these. Yeah.
And he has Metalcraft. Equipment you control have equip cost 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. It's pretty
And-
sweet.
Yeah. You very often do control at least 3.
3, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this
Oh,
guy's
yeah.
this guy's just
Gotcha.
so much value. Why couldn't it say legendary creature?
I know.
Whew, love him. Next up, we have Sigarda's Aid. It's 1 white for an enchantment. You may cast aura and equipment spells as though they had flash. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach it to target creature you control. So that's just
Sweet.
like
Fun.
cheating those equip costs. That's why it's equipment support.
Yeah. But also, that card works really well with Flickering Ward. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because now at instant speed, we can just protect SRAM from any colors.
Yeah, and Sigarda's Aid is just 1 mana.
Yeah.
What would be really would take it over the top, I think, is if when Sigarda's Aid entered the battlefield, draw a card.
Sure, yeah.
Is that too much?
That is too much.
Okay.
Because it's replacing itself.
It's
for
too
one-
much. Eric says it's too much. I
I
gotta
mean,
stop.
I would like
Judge.
it. I would like it, but then, yeah,
Well,
R&D would be like,
it depends.
no.
It depends on the judge, right? It depends on the
Oh,
judge
yeah,
what they say.
Because they have different calls.
Right.
Yeah.
There aren't rules.
No, it's just judge calls.
All right, I had to. Okay, the last section and the least interesting here, because we've already talked about all the good lands, is the lands. So Eric, we can talk about some of these lands. We do have a command beacon.
Command Beacon's good, obviously, for getting rid of that commander cost. What a Crystal Vein.
Yeah, this is just like to get some.
Didn't know that was a card.
Sometimes you got to tap sacrifice, get some mana.
Sure.
That's fun.
We have Forbidding Watchtower. I have this in here also for edict effects. Forbidding Watchtower enters the battlefield tapped. You can tap it for a white, and you can pay 1 and a white. Forbidding Watchtower becomes a 1/5 white soldier creature until end of turn. It's still a land.
Cool.
Yeah. New Benalia just lets you scry on an ETBs. That's always nice. Opal Palace is great because it's a Voltron strategy. I think Opal Palace is good in most Voltron decks because you get a it taps for colorless and you can filter. You can pay 1, tap it, add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. If you spend this mana to cast your commander, it enters the battlefield with a number of additional 1/1 counters on it equal to the number of times it's been cast from the command zone this game.
Yeah.
So in a Voltron strategy, you just get those.
Yeah, so then he'll just be a
1/1
little more
counters.
beefy.
The art is also pretty.
Yeah, I wonder if you can get it in foil.
Yeah, because it was only in a commander set. I
Yeah,
think.
we've got Reliquary Tower,
Rogue's
no
Passage.
handside Rogue's Passage makes him. Got Secluded Steep for the just cycling land. Shrine of the Forsaken Gods, really good in any artifact deck. It taps for a colorless. I think this is kind of like I wouldn't put Temple of the False God in a deck,
Yeah.
but this is sort of similar, not really.
No, because it still taps for 1 colorless.
Yeah, so it taps for colorless and it taps for 2 colorless, but you can spend that mana only to cast colorless spells, and you can only activate this ability if you control 7 or more lands. But we do have a lot of colorless spells in this deck.
Have you thought of putting in the White Castle?
What is the rare?
Yeah.
What does that one do? Castle Ardenvale?
Ardenvale, yeah, because you just I think it's 2 and 2 white and you make a 1/1. So it's more protection against
That's not
edict
bad.
effects.
And what's the common that's planes?
You have it in here. It's Secluded Steep.
No. The one from
Wait, nope,
the
that's
one
not
from
it.
Throne.
Yep. It enters untapped if you have 3 or more planes, and when it enters untapped, you put a 1/1 counter on a creature. It's okay.
But you
But I
only
would-
get the 1/1 counter if you
You have
meet
3
the lands.
Yeah.
3 lands? That's all it cares about? 3 lands. Not
3
3 planes.
3 planes.
It cares about 3 planes.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
The castle's good. I think you should maybe run the castle.
Is the art on that card a hamburger?
What?
This is White Castle.
That'd be good. That'd be a good altar.
That'd be fun.
That'd be a good alt, actually. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, we're going to bring this foray into the dual commander format to a close, and we very much hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. On top of the other, I'm going to make one more suggestion.
Please do.
Do you know of Bloodforged Battle Axe?
I've heard of
So-
it. What can enlighten me?
Yeah, Bloodforged Battle Axe is 1 mana, and then equipped creature gets +2/+0. The equip cost is 2, so it's all like a lot of other
Was this one
artifacts.
from the Commander set this past year?
It was from 2017.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
So whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Bloodforged Battle Axe. Yeah. So you get in once, you get another one. If you have 2 on there, you attack, you get 2 more.
And if you have Pure Steel Paladin, you get a card draw every time that comes into play. I like that a lot. Very nice.
Eric,
a fun
not
card.
just another pretty face.
Hey.
Nice. Eric,
I
I
know
bet
magic things.
Eric, I bet if you tried, you could grow the best beard of anybody in this room.
Sure.
I can't grow a beard to save my life, and I don't think you can either.
No, I can't. I was trying to think of something witty. I
Didn't
know.
get there.
I didn't.
So we've done a number of deck techs over the past few months. But if there is a commander that you want us to do a deck tech on, or you want to hear us talk about, please do get in touch with us. You can do that on Instagram, or you can do that on Gmail, where Turn One Soaring the podcast on Instagram, or Turn One Soaring the podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, just slide into our DMs.
Yeah, just let us know what you think. And who knows, maybe the commander that you want to hear us do a deck tech on, we've already built the deck. And
Yeah.
it's just sitting on our shelf, or we're taking it down to a local game store and playing with it.
Also, we did hold true to our word. We know we had a lot of black-red decks. This is a white deck. It's
a white deck.
different.
It's different
We
color.
do like different colors.
We did it. We like all the colors of the Wooburg.
I like white.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion. I like it.
It's also PK's favorite color, Pleasant Kenobi.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that Pleasant Kenobi. Yeah,
guy.
and like this is just such a fun deck. You're drawing cards. It's just you're always doing stuff.
And your
Yeah.
commander's so cheap.
Yeah, it's really nice. The second time you cast your commander, it's only 4.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So we want to thank you all for listening, as always. And Ainsley, we want to thank you for joining us on the show, being guest host, and for editing the show every week.
Thanks for editing all of our stuff.
Yeah, for listening to
It's a
us.
lot.
You got to listen to everything.
I gotta listen to this one twice.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
You poor thing.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, and if folks want to find you on social media, how can they do that?
I'm on the Instagram, and my handle is Ainsley Amethyst, like the stone.
Like the stone. Is it what kind of stone is that?
An amethyst. It's a semi-precious stone.
What do you mean by what kind of stone?
Is it a gemstone?
It's a semi-precious stone.
Is it a birthstone?
Well, it's used as a
Yeah.
birthstone.
All right, just take it easy, guys. Jeez. This is like we were talking about Bury, but I'm the Eric.
Oh, man.
So always remember that you can find our show on all the podcast platforms, including YouTube. And also remember to enter our March giveaway, which just started. And you can find the post for that on our Instagram page. And it should be near the top of the feed if you're listening to this somewhat close to when it's released. And again, thank you all for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Thanks again, everyone. Have yourselves a wonderful day.
Bye, friends.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thanks again, Ainsley.
Bye.
Turn one soul ring.